Saturday night in Edmonton, late game on Hockey Night in Canada. I wish you could have just seen Brett headbanging behind the scenes right there. Hair's getting all over the place, baby, because it's Saturday night. And it is the return of two old friends, now enemies, in Philip Broberg and Dylan Holloway, as the Edmonton Oilers get set to take on the St. Louis Blues down at Rogers Place tonight. Hello, what up, and welcome to Pre-Gaming with Bordzy, brought to you by Sherwood Ford, the Giant for a reason. This evening, I'm joined by my pal, the band. It's back together. It's Matt Wozniak and producer Brad behind the scenes. Woz, you told me a couple minutes ago you wore a special outfit just for tonight. Share with the class, please.
I'm wearing all black for the funeral of Dylan Holloway and Philip Broberg tonight.
I broke the zipper on this.
I do feel like saying those words is going to bite me in the ass right now.
I broke the zipper on this, so I can't go all black, but I guess I was going with the same vibe. Brett, my boy behind the scenes, obviously in headbanging mood as it's Saturday night, and we be pre-gaming. How you doing, my pal?
I'm doing pretty good. It was a good little Saturday, and always nice to cap it off with a little bit of Hockey Night in Canada, baby.
We got any college football fans in the chat? Because today was sick. It was loaded. That Georgia-Texas game that just went to overtime was incredible, but we're here to talk puck tonight, and I got my two pals in Woz and Brett, and if you've watched the show before, especially on Saturday nights when it is the three of us, I think we're going to get off topic. I think there's going to be some bickering between the two of you.
Depending on how the Oilers perform tonight, definitely. But good vibes. Good vibes only.
Good vibes. Before we got live here, you two are just going back and forth at it.
Started it, man. Like, I didn't do anything. I'm just being me, man. That's what I'm talking about. Guy's an immature child.
This is what I want. This is what I wanted on Saturday night. But this is the game we have all had circled on our calendars all season. I hope the Oilers fan base is nice and liquored up already and ready to go out at Rogers Place this evening. And this one feels a little bit different, means a little bit more than a usual regular season non-division game, because there feels like there is a rivalry, a brewing. And dude, for the post-game sake, God, I hope we win. God, I hope Holloway and Broberg are dog shit out there on the ice. Because you're a man who lives online. Our feet just touched well. You're a man who lives online. I can't take more Holloway, Broberg comparisons. We're 25 games, whatever, into the season. It has been apparent all year. They left. They made their choice. They are now the enemies, but it's going to be a storyline all night long tonight.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of fair for tonight, at least, the fact that they're back in town, the first time the Oilers and Blues are meeting since those offer sheets happened. So it's fair enough to talk about it now and everything that's kind of led up to the point and kind of looking back on the history since then. However, it does feel like we're kind of beating a dead horse with this, Broberg, Holloway talk. I get it. Understand why we keep talking.
It's the first game we can rip the Band-Aid off.
Exactly.
And then next matchup, February 4th, I think. No, we're done with this conversation.
I'm personally a little sick and tired of it. I kind of want to just move on. Good for them. They made their bag. They're doing well in St. Louis. I just want the Oilers to win.
Yep, that's all I'm about, the orange and blue. Let's check in with the chat. Austin's in, first comment of the day. Always bringing the energy lately, Brett, with his first comment. Says, Bordzy, let's fire up the band. Boo, boo, boo. Time to get up, Oil Country. Today's a good day. Today is game day. Amanda was a little bit early tonight. Said, OMG, I'm here an hour early, and I was so ready to go. 8 p.m. starts suck. Steve just says, giddy up, brother. Maynard, please tell me it's a Blues player or players appearing on After Hours. Hashtag After Hours curse. And our boy, I haven't seen him a lot. Sergeant Battle. Haven't been able to watch live in a while. I've missed you, AB. Let's go Oilers. Sergeant Battle, I read your blog the other day. Shout out, Nate Broadcasting.
Yeah.
Shout out. I remember writing those blogs. So you got a view from me. Some other people in here. Saturday nights. All right. Maynard, don't really get this. He says Woz is on Tinder again. That's probably because you were on your phone to start the show.
Bro, do not scare me like that. I don't need my girlfriend coming after me, man. Trust me, bro. Do not put me like, what do you mean? I don't need that heart attack right now.
Bro's checking his emails.
Bro, don't. That's a story for another night. That's an After Dark story, maybe. I do want to add that Braden Shen is the After Hours guest tonight. So
hey,
it's a Blues player.
There you go. All right, Maynard, you can feel good about that. And Maynard does put in here, where did I already lose this? I already lost it, but he said, I vote no booing this evening. So I'm curious to go around the room and what you guys think in the chat. To boo or not to boo? That is the question. And it's a tough one, right? Because I don't blame either of these dudes for leaving, okay? You chase the bag, you do it through and through. If you offered me $4.9 million, I would do unholy things to my own family members, let alone a city of people that I've never met before. But I don't know, right? The money, it was more than they ever would have made in Edmonton. The Oilers obviously couldn't match those contracts. Well played, Doug Armstrong. Well played. But still, I feel slighted. I do feel betrayed. And I feel like I've been broken up with over text. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I didn't get to say my goodbyes. I didn't get to say it in person. And I know hindsight is 2020. They are both having great seasons thus far. Broberg playing very good, 12 points, 15 games. Holloway, top 6 player, and I believe he's 3rd on the team in points. But St. Louis doesn't have a lot of point getters, and it's just tough because we saw this progression in the Stanley Cup playoffs and in the finals. We finally started to see Philip Broberg playing good, playing in the top 4, going, oh shit, is this Darnell Nurse's permanent partner? And Dylan Holloway, he just looked good all season. His biggest problem was probably staying healthy. And I don't know, it's tough because it's like you're getting broken up with over text, and then you have to check Instagram every day and you see your ex having so much fun and is living it up, and they look so happier than they were than when they were with you. Where are you at right now with your Holloway and Broberg slights? And would you boo this evening if you were in the building?
Maybe just because it's a part of the atmosphere, a part of the entertainment factor, I guess, booing them. And I know Holloway and Broberg, they're expecting it. They're not going to be like disappointed or sad or emotional because people are booing them. They fully expect
They'll probably fire him up.
Yeah, Holloway, he's a hockey guy. He's probably just going to laugh it off, right? So it's going to be good times. And I can't remember the last time a player's been booed since returning to Edmonton. Maybe Chris Pronger. I don't know. I don't think Taylor Hall, he never got booed. I've been to a couple of those games. Naily Akbab, when he came back, he didn't get booed. So it's very interesting. So honestly, personally, good for them. They made their bag, and you only get a finite amount of time in the NHL to really make a lot of money and set up your family. That's also another thing. And shout out to Philip Broberg, who's playing top pairing minutes in St. Louis. That's another thing we don't forget about, is that these guys are getting really great opportunities playing about 20 to 25 minutes a night in St. Louis.
It's everything that they weren't getting in Edmonton, specifically one Philip Broberg. Brett, also in the chat, let me know if you'd boo. Brett, you're a loud, abrasive guy. We've gone to hockey games together before. We have booed for way less than you breaking my heart. We have singled out goaltenders together, college goaltenders.
In front of their girlfriend.
Ones that watch Oilersnation every day, I found out later. In fact, Brett, if you were in the building, would you be booing tonight?
I kind of agreed with what Liam said on O&E, where the first couple touches, they'll probably get a couple feels. But Alex Pietrangelo, when he came back, when he came back the next year against Vegas, he got a couple of boos, and then by the end of the second period, it was just kind of like, oh, he's touching the puck a lot, guys. Like, it was getting
spend a lot of energy.
Yeah, this is a soccer game. I mean, so I think they'll get a couple just off the top, and then by the third period, it's 3-2 hockey game, whatever. Maybe I think people will start to kind of lock in on the game. So yes and no.
I think it'll start incredibly hard in the first period, and then, as you said, if it's a tie game, it's a 1-goal game. I don't know. I think we're going to be focused on the ice. Mash Sports. Is that
our boy Peyton?
That is our boy Peyton. What up, Peyton?
Interning with us.
Yeah, less than a month.
Yeah, it's a very good time.
Join the team. I'm going to look shorter than ever before. Final buzzer's in. He said, shit, I still boo Taylor Hall. Yeah, that's true. Mark says they got their bag, but at what cost to going all the way in June? Yep. Southpaw, the fans should try and get a reaction out of the guys, get in their heads. Once again, I don't know how in their heads you can really get. They're going to be expecting this. I'm sure a guy like Dylan Holloway, it's a good point there was. He's a hockey guy through and through. I think he's going to go nuts. Snatch is in. That's my boy. Best. That's Hatch right there, Brett. That's best man at the wedding. We're going up here. Snatch says they had every right to go out and take the money. And with that, fans have every right to boo them for choosing money over glory. Weren't an Oiler long enough for a warm welcome. Hatch, that's why I love you, because you're dead on, brother. I couldn't agree more. Now, I guess it's hindsight, right? Would you have done anything differently? Because we all know hindsight, yes, we talked on ONE that what you would have done differently is I would have locked up both of these dudes on July 1st. They would have taken precedent for me over Matthias Janmark, Corey Perry, Connor Brown. Yes, I like those guys, but they're closer to replacement level players than a Broberg and Holloway would be. And yes, I like them. Maybe Janmark is not replacement level right now because he's third on the team in points 5v5 this season. But the Holloway and Broberg potential was there. Just quickly, would you have done something differently? If you could have kept one, would you have kept one? Obviously, Holloway substantially cheaper than Philip Broberg. What would you have done?
I would have tried to keep Holloway. I think he has scored probably the best Oilers goal, not scored by Connor McDavid. That was against Vancouver. I've watched that goal a million times. I love it. So I really like Dylan Holloway. I really liked what he was turning into. I think he could bring on a solid, top 6 winger with McDavid, with Draisaitl. It's a shame that he's with St. Louis. He's doing well, and for good reason.
Yeah, and Philip Broberg, right? He's the one piece that you just, as much as you don't want to think about it, you can't help but imagine him in this top 4 for the Oilers defense. And we saw it last year in the Stanley Cup Finals specifically. He was looking fantastic. Smooth skating Swedish defenseman with abs. You kidding me, Oilers fans? We live for that. And yeah.
Last thing I'm going to add is, if we forget, Bob Stauffer back in the summer did mention that the Oilers back like last December, last January, Ken Holland, who was the GM, he was instructed at the top levels of the Oilers organization to get Holloway and Broberg signed to contract extensions, especially in January when both players were in the minors. So they tried to get the deal done. They tried to make something work. And honestly, it just kind of falls in the laps of on the lap of the previous management.
Oopsies.
Yeah, it's so it's funny when people go like Stan Bowman and blame him. Like he's the guy. He just walked into the job 2 weeks before.
Yes, hello, Stan. Welcome to your brand new home. There's a dirty dog shit right in front of the door. That's like, oh, by the way, the sink doesn't work.
Yeah, Stan, it's your fault, buddy.
I let some shit on your front step. By the way, you're gonna want to clean that up. Maynard says, yeah, Holloway or Arvidsson? Tough choice. Yikes. And like I said, hindsight is 2020, but and the Broberg one was less surprising because he was given permission to sneak a trade last year. He was playing in the AHL all season long until Brett. He came back before the NHL playoffs, and this one I'm not very familiar with, so I'm throwing it to my boy here. Explain to me what you were just trying to explain to me that I don't understand. Yeah,
so Waz was actually the one who brought it up, and it was a really good point, but I remember kind of what the circumstances around it was Philip Broberg, if he hadn't played that last game of the season against Colorado, which, like you said, that was mean nothing.
You couldn't do anything in the standings. I get it was to rest other players.
Yeah, but still. And if it's something along the lines of if he didn't play in that game, he wouldn't have reached this certain amount of games threshold that would have made him into a different type of free agent. So if somebody remembers the exact rule, please, this is kind of what we're doing it at. It's just
chat, help me out.
But it's something along the lines of he became a different type of free agent because he played a certain amount of games, which then led to the amount of money that St. Louis was able to send him, something along those lines. If somebody does remember, please.
Apparently, that was that doesn't apply to Broberg because he was still on his entry level deal, and that only applies to RFAs who are on at least on their second contract.
Because Dylan Holloway got bridged.
Did he?
Believe so.
Oh yeah.
That's what I said. I didn't know what was going on. If you can help me out in the chat, that would help very much. Bo's in. He says we weren't going to sign them. We should have just traded them for picks or something. I really felt like the Oilers management was really playing chicken for how far can we go here and how low can we get them to sign for.
I remember too. What I do remember is that the rumor going around was at the deadline, St. Louis wanted Holloway and Broberg in the Buchnevich trade. And Edmonton said no.
Yeah, and Buchnevich still had one more year left on his deal, so he would still be on the team right now. And shout out to my boy Snatch. He says if he didn't play the last game or two, he couldn't be offer sheeted.
I don't think that's true. I think actually that's
Who knows? Who cares? We're done with these guys after the game. That's the past, damn it.
Can I say one thing? If there's one man I'm booing tonight, It's Doug Armstrong for putting us in that situation and not picking Hyman for the Four Nations face-off. Screw you, Doug Armstrong. I got a bone to pick with you.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a rivalry brewing here with the St. Louis Blues, and the funny part is it's because it's all off the ice.
Yeah.
Nothing has happened on the ice.
He was smart. He did smart thing, but I don't like you.
The Holloway one obviously was a little bit more surprising than Broberg just because he was, for the most part, looked happy in Edmonton. We never had any reports of anything bad, and you'd think he was going to be stapled next to Leon Draisaitl this season. Instead, he's in the Blues' top 6. He's third on their team in points. He's playing with Jordan Kyrou and Braden Shen on the second line. But get this, he's heating up. Over the last month, he has tallied 37 shots on goal, second on the team behind Jordan Kyrou, who is his line mate. And boys, Dylan Holloway is plus 375 to score a goal tonight. That just seems like something that would happen with the Edmonton Oilers. Do you think Dylan Holloway gets on the score sheet this evening? And plus 375 for a revenge game goal, kind of juicy.
I'll say no. I'll go the opposite end. I'll say Phil Broberg gets a goal.
I would have heard even more. Brett, does he score? Those odds are even way juicier.
So you know what's funny? In my bankroll, let's say, Holloway.
Did you say it like that?
I don't know. Holloway is getting over shot and a half, so I think he's gonna pepper. I don't know if he'll get a goal. I'm sure he might get a point. I actually have a Broberg point tonight, so I think Broberg has been kind of. He's been not more productive, but it seems like he's been more productive than expected back there. So Holloway, yes, I think he's just going to be a fire plug. We know exactly what to expect from Holloway. Broberg, I don't know. I think he might be the sneaky Potter tonight.
Hey, you've got Bordzy's bankroll. Can we call his Brett's bread?
Why? Oh, I get it.
You gotta find a way to incorporate Spider in there every time.
Yeah,
that Brett
I do have one tonight.
Hell yeah. Saturday night, we got a Spider, 8 legs, that is, on your parlay. But okay, we're done with that. Let's talk the Edmonton Oilers because Thursday, arguably their best performance of the season. It was kind of a dream game, right? Zach Hyman returns from injury. Bang, drops 2 goals on your ass. Leon Draisaitl, 2 goals for himself. Connor McDavid, pretty quiet, all things considered. 4-point night for the Oilers captain. The PK was perfect. The power play scored twice. It was PP1 and it was PP2 with the Matthias Ekholm goal. And that just kind of felt like what we've been searching for the Oilers. There's consistency in the lines right now. They were rolling all 4 combos, and all of them are doing it multiple ways. You saw the Oilers top line dominating down low cycle game. The Pods dry line obviously doing that, but you even saw Hyman and Nuge and Connor 3-on-2 snipe off the rush with some speed. And I know you just kind of had everything you wanted in that one. You name it. Same lineup expected again tonight. Obviously, Stuart Skinner is going to be the only change in there, but it's a much tougher opponent in the St. Louis Blues than the Columbus Blue Jackets. This is a good litmus test game because St. Louis is red hot under new head coach Jim Montgomery. They are 4-0-1 with him behind the bench. And this I think, has the potential to have some fireworks. I'd like some goals tonight. You've both got 2 goaltenders who were discussed for Team Canada. Obviously, Stuart Skinner doesn't make the cut. Jordan Binnington does. This one has got some potential for some serious fireworks, was.
Yeah, we can't really underestimate the Blues as well. Nope. They've got that bit of a coaching bump. And
new head coach bump.
As Oilers fans, we're kind of used to that. We know how well that can turn a team around, and they've been getting points in almost every game since then. Their last loss came against the Islanders 3-1 on November 23rd. Since then, they've beaten the Rangers 5-2, the Devils 3-0. They lost to the Flyers 3-2 in overtime, but still getting a point. So they're able to take games to the distance and also beat the Winnipeg Jets, who are the first team to get 20 wins this season. So they can beat good teams.
Yeah, they're in it right now. And, they fired their head coach, and it was solely because of Jim Montgomery. Doug Armstrong even said it. And you can't argue with results because they are 4-0-1.
That was just funny. Like, the moment he gets fired, like, let's just bring him in. Who was it, Bannister at the time? He was the coach. Get out of here. We're going to bring in someone a little more accomplished. Sorry, buddy.
That's got to be like, dude, what did he do? He was above 500. I got the numbers in a second. And our will. Oh, yes, Brett.
Do you think? Oh, sorry, I didn't realize they were going to toss it. But do you think when he saw Montgomery get fired, he was just like, "Oh
fuck.
No, yeah," because it wasn't like. Could you just imagine sitting there going, "Oh, we're having a good old day," coming into the office, see that he's fired, and you go, "Oh,
Oh no.
Hey, Doug, how's it going?
Quickly
buddy?
gets a text from Doug.
Yeah. Hey, we need to see each other.
Well, it's kind of funny because oddly enough, in November, the Blues did beat the Bruins in OT, November 16th. They also ended up losing a couple games. So it kind of made sense why they went for Montgomery and fired their coach. So it's just a weird situation. I wonder what that conversation's like. Hey, man.
Sorry, dude. You're just not Montgomery. You're good.
You're not bad, but you're not
like
Jim.
It's like a modern day breakup. Hey, I'm sorry. I found someone new.
I met somebody else.
Breakups are the theme of pre-gaming so far.
Met her on Tinder.
And Waz, if he stays on Tinder, might have another.
Buddy, I'm not on Tinder. Get out of here.
I knew Waz was going to hate that when I read that. Let's go now to our need to know info, courtesy of Willock Beef Jerky, because only the finest tasting meat products earn that Willock name. Made from 100% pure Alberta beef, their jerky is aged, seasoned, marinated, and smoked to savory perfection. They gladly fill orders of any size. Find their jerky, sausage, and other products exclusively out of their Leduc location. And for more info, go to willockbeefjerky.com. So on the Edmonton Oilers side of things, same exact line combos as Thursday night. And why not? I just mentioned how well they played in that game. This is the first of 3 meetings between the Oilers and the St. Louis Blues. And hopefully the final time we need to talk about Holloway and Broberg. But they'll play again February 4th in St. Louis and then again in Edmonton, April 9th. One of, if not the very last game of the season. Then the Oilers, PK right now, dude, this is just, I needed to brag. 23 out of 24 successful kills in their last 11 games, which is absolutely insane considering where they started the beginning of the season. Thank you, Waz. Good call with that. Up to an even 73% on the season, 27th in the NHL. And the Blues, they don't got a very good power play this season. I believe they're bottom 3 in the league. There you go, 15.9%. There's your head-to-head numbers. And can you believe it, boys? 3 out of 4 categories. The Edmonton Oilers are leading.
We made it. We did it.
We are back. We are so back.
He's very good.
Is that good? Yeah. Well, got his mic, Brett. Connor
Give him the
McDavid.
right Borat.
He's Polish, I guess. Maybe something. Connor McDavid, though, he has recorded at least 1 point in his last 5 games against the Blues. 2 goals, 7 assists, 9 points in those 5 games. And he's registered a point in 8 of his last 9. Leon Draisaitl, he's got 15 points in his last 12 against St. Louis, 6 goals, 9 assists. And the Nuge, he actually leads all active Oilers in points against the Blues. And he has 5 points in his last 5 games. And with the way that top line looked on Thursday night, maybe sprinkle on a little bit of Ryan Nugent-Hopkins' 1+ point tonight. And then finally, Stuart Skinner. He gets his first start since being left off of Team Canada's 4 Nations roster. He's got an 8.72 record, 297 goals against, 889 save percentage, but he has above a 930 in 4 of his last 5 games played. He is starting to take off on the Blues side of things. So these are the numbers, right? They fired head coach Drew Bannister after a 9-12-1 start. Go 4-1 with 4-0-1 with Jim Montgomery. And this is the second consecutive season the Blues have fired a head coach. Feels like there's a head coach firing epidemic going right now in the NHL. It was Luke Richardson the other day. Obviously, the Oilers have been a part of that as well. And last December, they canned Craig Berube. They were 13-4-1 at that point, so similar to Bannister's record here. But Bannister last year when he took over went 30-19-5, and bang, he gets fired after 22 games this season. Obviously, Doug Armstrong said it was all about the quality of coach in Jim Montgomery. And Montgomery with Boston was 120, 41 and 23 over 3 seasons. Obviously had the Bruins, who had the best record of all time in the regular season, and highlighted by his Jack Adams Award trophy. Now, you mentioned it. They beat the Rangers. They beat the Devils. They lost the Flyers. They then beat the Jets, and they beat the Flames. It's a pretty good run. And then you got the Oilers. They have scored 18 goals and allowed 9 over their last 5 games. So been a pretty dominant effort with their new coach. Finally, Jordan Binnington, that head case is going to get the start tonight. One of Team Canada's 3 goalies selected, obviously. Aiden Hill, Jordan Binnington, and Sam Montembeault. He's got an 8-9-2 record, 287 goals against average, and an even .900 save percentage. Let's go now to our Sherwood Ford Giant storylines of the evening. Now I'm going to take a sip of water before I do that.
It's a good idea. Stay hydrated, folks. It's going to be a long night.
It's going to be a long night. We're pre-gaming, baby, but it's brought to you by Sherwood Ford, the Giant. Tired of dealership hassles? Well, Sherwood Ford and Sherwood Park is all about convenience and upfront pricing with their Giant Deal program. Get clear, no-nonsense pricing on new and used Fords online with all incentives included. Plus, enjoy the ease of mobile service, free pickup and delivery, and same-day or next-day service appointments. Sherwood Ford, the Giant for a reason. The presenting sponsor of pre-gaming really couldn't do any of that. That's what we do without them because they keep us employed. I guess I can throw it to you first. If you have a specific storyline going on tonight, there's a new head coach bump. There's the Holloway Broberg return. There's the Oilers starting to look like the Edmonton Oilers. Stuart Skinner, he's starting to heat up. What's the biggest storyline you think going into tonight?
Aside from the two returning players, I kind of want to put a little bit more focus on the Edmonton Oilers. I want to say depth scoring. Adam Henrique has not scored in 8 games. Connor Brown, no goals in 11 games. Matthias Janmark hasn't had a goal since November 3rd. Derek Ryan doesn't have a goal yet. So I'd like to see a little bit more scoring from the bottom 6 here. I think it'd be good because considering if you look at the Oilers right now, there are only 2 of our players have over 10 goals. That's Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid. To be fair, they are very good, so that makes sense. Then Evan Bouchard has 6 goals. And yeah, just a little bit more goal scoring from the bottom 6 would be nice to see. And if anything, I hope that McDavid has a 7-point night and overtakes Martin Necas for most points in the NHL at the time of this recording. Martin Necas has the most points in the NHL.
Yeah, I know. That's crazy, right?
41. That was not
round
my
did he go in your
year.
fantasy draft?
Yeah.
I'm looking in here, timeout, because Lance Kane's in with a super chat. $5 says nothing but Oilers W's coming from the wife's work Christmas party. Janmark for mayor. Suck it, your Chuck. Cup here.
Let's go.
Cup, yeah. Cabs are here as well. Be taking cabs this holiday season as well. You know me, I'm going to read whatever's in the super chat. I'm like Ron Burgundy, so I'll read it again. Suck it, your Chuck. My storyline, right, there's a lot of them here, but for me, it's this new rivalry that I mentioned has been completely created off of the ice and mostly by dudes wearing suits, right? And I used to cheer for the Blues. I was cheering for them against the Boston Bruins in the Stanley Cup Finals.
I guess, all right.
Fuck the Bruins, dude. I don't want any part of that. Now, Broberg, you're dead to me. Holloway, you're dead to me. Doug Armstrong, you are so dead to me right now. But I do hope Team Canada plays well. And Binnington, I don't know, man. The rivalry could get weird. How sick would it be to see a goalie fight? Obviously, I don't think that's going to happen. But Binnington is a head case. You never know. And
he's too scared to fight.
Yeah, but every time somebody plays Binnington, everybody's like, oh, there's going to be a goalie.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
No, it's not. No, he's such a baby.
I agree. Because every time he'll start something and he won't finish, he's no, not going to fight.
Yeah,
no.
Do you think when Fleury came down and he was like, no, you looked at the ref, he's like, no, protect me. Cool. All right. Sure.
I see Losh is in. He says, the Blues used to be my second team. Now we are enemies. That's right. As I've mentioned all year, I reserve the right to hold a grudge. Okay. I am petty. I am simple. I am like that. And I don't really need many reasons to hate many teams. This one is definitely one of them. Brett, let's pull it up now. Let's take a peek at the Edmonton Oilers projected lineup this evening, the same as Thursday in the forward group, at least. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins with Connor McDavid and Zachary Martin Hyman. Yes, the children's book author is playing top line right wing. Second line, Vasily Podkolzin with Leon and Kasperi Kapanen. That dude is just glued to the top 6 right now. Nobby must be liking what he's seeing. The third line, where you mentioned depth scoring, that third line has been bringing it lately. Matthias Janmark, suck it, your M-Chuck. Let's go for 3 with Adam Henrique and Jeff Skinner. Ty, I love you. You know that. Corey Perry on the fourth line with Derek Ryan and Connor Brown. Your deep pairings, Ekholm with Bush, Darnell Nurse with Troy Stetcher, and my boy Brett Kulak with Ty Emberson. So just go back to the forward group here because it's a Kasperi Kapanen revenge game tonight as well, gentlemen.
True,
and he will be in the top 6. His first game against his former team, the Blues, since being claimed off waivers on November 19th. And that waiver claim, shouts out to you, Bowman, because it has worked so far. Gold star. He has 2 points in 6 games, but it's looked really good, right? As he moves his feet, he's got that big body. He was obviously playing with Connor McDavid. I think McDavid liked what he brought to that line. I mentioned he just has the ability to go under the radar, fly under the radar, where the one goal he scored wide open at the side of the net for what felt like 4 or 5 seconds. And he's going to keep doing that on the second line with Leon Draisaitl. But he's been solid. He brings that big body, but he brings the speed and he moves his feet. And dude, he's been drawing penalties by moving his feet. He's had a number of tripping calls going in the Oilers' favor. And last game we saw, he took a puck or a stick to the face that it'll take somebody's eye out in there, and he was bleeding, and it gave the Oilers a 4-minute minor. Now, I don't think they scored on that 4-minute minor, but he has been awesome, and who knows, right? If and when, I guess emphasis on if, Victor Arvidsson ever returns to this lineup, who knows if he'll be back in that spot. Kapanen appears to be glued. Nobby's liking what he's seeing from him, and I'm curious to you, Waz. Do you like Kapanen in that spot? Would you be bringing up a Jeff Skinner? I like Kapanen more than Connor Brown in that spot for sure, I think. But your thoughts, Kapanen, revenge game on the second line.
I think he's been fine. The fact that he's found the back of the net is a positive sign, and he's made a good impression, especially with the top line. They're kind of picky and choosy with who they want to play. Obviously, like Leon Draisaitl, he's found some love with Podkolzin. So, yeah, let's go Kapanen.
I could hear Brett giggling, and I was like, what is he giggling at? Oh, wait, no, not that. Kasperi,
I saw that.
Kasperi cheeks clapping.
That's nice. We are so mature. This is the.
That's so good.
We are
also,
so professional.
Maynard's in and says Scotty Skinner. As we discovered on Thursday, it's Jeff Scotty Skinner. We want to know what his middle name was. Skinner squared. But Brett, thoughts on Kapanen as well. Right, Nobby must be liking what he's seeing. The 2 points in 6 games, whatever. Not the greatest production for a top 6 player, but it's been those little things. It's moving your feet, drawing penalties, banging bodies, playing simple, like a Podzilla has done on that line as well. Thoughts on Kapanen? And while you do this, I'm going to look at what his odds are for a revenge game goal.
Ooh, I like that. No, I have liked what Kapanen has brought so far. It comes down to his feet, being able to keep up with those guys, but also being able to know how to get to the open ice. And that's what he's been able to do. He was able to do it in Toronto. He had a career high in goals in Toronto, playing with high-end talent with those guys. And now he's doing it again in Edmonton. Will the goals eventually come? Maybe. Hopefully. They have been for Pods. Settling into a new spot for Kapanen for him would be nice to start seeing that production, but just making sure he's doing the right things and being able to keep up with 97-29, whoever he's stapled with at the time, is going to eventually lead to probably some production, if not staying in the lineup, because you're obviously doing something right.
Yeah, when the Oilers are fully healthy and you look at their forward group, there's so many combinations of good players that you can throw around there. Imagine an Arvidsson, imagine an Evander Kane in there. Who knows? Derek Ryan gets sent down. Sorry, Waz. You bring in Noah Philp. You can bring in some fresh life there.
I've heard that enough. It's going to happen. I get it.
And I see Davin in here. I just keep giggling at cheeks clapping it. How do we not think about that? Davin's in, and he says, or also final buzzer, and I agree with this about Kapanen. He's one more in a long line of placeholders. I could agree with that, but if you can find it in spurts, right? We didn't think Pods. We probably thought Pods was going to be a placeholder. Yeah. All of a sudden, he is a staple in this Oilers top 6. But Davin, great point. Says, why would you break up Rico, Janmark, and Skinner's chemistry? And Jeff Skinner, baby, we're a quarter of the way into the season, and we are starting to see what we were sold on this entire offseason, right? He's been awesome lately, good in the offensive end, highlighted by his last game. 2-point night, goal and an assist, showed extreme patience and stick skills in tight on his goal. And then the power play 2 goal, he had the assist to Matthias Ekholm, got his head up, stopped abruptly, sent the puck in on a trailing defenseman like Ekholm, and he gets the goal. But he's also been doing it defensively. I have been talking about his ability to back check lately, and that you're not a big, strong guy in Jeff Skinner. I don't care. I know that. But you can do effort things. You can do back checks. And we've noticed it lately, right? The line blender has been out a lot less, and that's in the top 6, but it's in that third line. Rico, Janmark, and Jeff Skinner, they've just been looking solid. They're producing, and we make the thing, right? You think third line, you think checking line, you think defense, and while I think those guys not named Jeff Skinner on that line can play defense, they've been very good offensively, and they're kind of controlling puck possessions, cycles down low. Thoughts on Jeff Skinner on that third line? And yes, you could bring him up in the top 6, but I agree with Davin. There is something happening on that third line right now. Let it ride, Waz.
Yeah, I mean, I want to see more opportunities for Jeff Skinner. We all know how much he can score, and he has a history of scoring, especially last year and throughout his career. And he has 5 goals in the year with the Edmonton Oilers. I don't really know why he's been kind of. He was banished to the 4th and 3rd line over the last couple weeks.
Well, we know why. It was defense.
Yeah, well, he's kind of known to be a poor defensive player, the transition, the back check, but he can find the back of the net, and I don't know. I really hope he gets more of an opportunity. This is a guy who knows how to score. He just didn't forget how to score when coming to Edmonton.
You know who we might have worried forgot how to score during this season?
Jesus Christ, he's a -9 plus. Oh, Lord.
Yeah,
I saw that.
Who didn't, in fact, forget how to score was Zachary Martin Hyman, because he came back on Thursday and he looked like the guy that scored 70-plus goals over the regular season and playoffs last season. His puck luck has been all over the place this year, but we saw it turn on Thursday. He was in the crease, and that goal still stood off review, and honestly was a turning point in there because the Oilers then got a power play, and he had chance after chance against Columbus, looking like vintage Zach Hyman. I love his shot prop later tonight, and McDavid was clearly looking for him, that is. And when Connor dangled, sliced and diced through that entire defense, I think everyone felt the same. Shoot the damn puck, and wouldn't expect him to pass there. But Zach Hyman, with that chemistry, was locked, loaded, ready to go, and he buries that one. We joked that Doug Armstrong and John Cooper probably went, oh, shit. He did remember how to score goals. Yeah. That probably would look next to 97 on the Team Canada wing, and maybe they messed that one up. Who knows?
Weird how that works, eh?
Still got 2 months. Something could happen. Injuries happen. And I don't know if Hyman keeps playing like that. You got to feel good. And Frank Saravalli did mention that Zach Hyman is at the top of the list for replacement players for Team Canada. It's Hyman, it's Mark Scheifele, and it is Mackenzie Weegar. Hyman looked very good, and hopefully he can continue to rock and roll because, dude, even at the beginning point of the season, he had 3 goals in 20 games. You watch the games. He was getting chance after chance after chance, was just snake bitten. It's a matter of time before that shooting percentage climbs back up from its 6%. I believe it is right now. Hyman heating up, and will he be a replacement? Yes.
He should be. When the rosters first got announced, I didn't really make much of it. Like, okay, whatever. You know, he didn't have the best start of the year. Wasn't scoring much, but cool. He's going to get a lot of rest in February to get ready for the playoffs. Then I looked at him like, hold on a minute. Did they decide this just off 20 games? Sure, he only scored, 3 goals. But before the Columbus game, Hyman had played 92 games in the calendar year of 2024. And including the playoffs, in that span, he has scored 52 goals and 21 assists. Also, since the start of 2024, Hyman has the 4th most goals at 5-on-5 in the NHL with 25, behind Panarin, McKinnon, and Matthews. So, and that's also 68 games played. What? Well, what are we doing here? Like, genuinely, what was the selection criteria for Team Canada, the 4 nations? How well you play in the first 20 games of the season?
Play on the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Yeah.
Play on the St. Louis Blues. I kid.
It's like that Isaiah Thomas clip in The Last Dance with Michael Jordan. I made that criteria, but I wasn't selected. I don't get it. I don't get it.
Hey, and he took that personally.
Exactly.
As
great reference.
Bob Stauffer's in. Yeah, let's go.
Let's go, buddy.
Bones, that was good.
Yeah.
Bob Stauffer's in and says Bush and Hyman are pissed. Losh, Bouchard going to show he deserves the spot over Parayko tonight. I'm not a fan of Colton Parayko making the team. I love the guy, local boy. He sang "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" at the Riverhawks 2 seasons ago. Was a huge beauty. Crushed beers with him in the locker room afterwards. He can put him back. Let me tell you about that. But
good Berta boy.
I guess we're talking Team Canada. We're talking Berta boys. What a segue, Brett, because we've been talking, yes, Team Canada, and shout out to our boy Zach Lang, because this is something I had never thought of. Now all I can think about is a Canada tournament of all provinces. So Zach Lang made a roster of what Team Alberta would look like. Throw it up here for me, Brett. Shout out. Boo him, as I believe, I forget who said it in the chat. They always boo Taylor Hall. So this is obviously just in Zach's head, but it's a fun game. This is fun to play. Top line, Taylor Hall, Braden Point, Brendan Gallagher. Second line, Jake DeBrusk, Kirby Doc, Dylan Gunther. I would move Dylan Gunther to that top line. Third line, Dylan Holloway, Noah Gregor, and Jake Neighbors. What a line. Yeah. Fourth line, Brett Howden with my boy and Strathcona County, not even Sherwood Park. He's a country boy, just like me, Sam Steele with Nicholas Aube-Kubel, Ridley Gregg, also the 13th forward there.
I would probably swap Gregg and Aube-Kubel.
Yeah, I don't really know much about that dude, but shout out, he's from Alberta, the D-Corps. Pretty good,
not
dude.
Bad. That's not bad.
Josh Morrissey, Cale Makar, Brett Kulak,
Let's
dog.
go.
He should be top pairing with Jared Spurgeon, Jacob Middleton, Colton Pareko. So there's 3 guys right there that are on Team Canada's actual back end. And then Olin Zellweger.
Can we get Millwood's alumni Jay Bowmeister as the head coach?
Yeah. Throw in your head coach picks in the chat. I want to know local Alberta
Jeff Wojcicka.
Nice. Yeah, there you go.
Jason Chimera?
Yeah, Jason Chimera would be a good one. Then we go to the goalies. Stuart Skinner with Logan Thompson, who has insane numbers this season. I would have had no problem. Like you just said, what are we judging on the 20 games this season? I feel like that can apply more to goalies, right?
Yeah.
Because it's what are you doing now? What have you done for me lately? Are you cooking? Logan Thompson has been on fire this season, but I think Stuart Skinner would be the starter on there.
Okay.
Hell of a roster.
In the same breath, I think people just forgot that Washington Capitals existed and didn't pick a single player. Like even Dylan Strome's having a really good year. John Carlson.
You've been banging that Strome drum.
I just like the Caps. They're my second favorite team. I'm gonna expose that right now. I've always liked the Caps.
Where's Ty Ratty and Tyler Benson in this?
That'd be sick. You know, the head coach, Jerome McGinley.
Oh, yeah.
Smitty, assistant coach.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Ooh, I like this
Also,
team now.
Bo is in. He said Brett Howden. Should be Brett Holden.
There's actually quick funny story about Brett Howden. When Brett Howden was included in the Ryan McDonough trade, I'm pretty sure, from New York to Tampa Bay, Bob McKenzie tweeted it out and misspelled Howden to say Brett Holden got traded to the Tampa Bay Lightning. So for about a week, I lived up that I was thinking that I got traded to the Tampa Bay to the Rangers. It was. So then I changed my Twitter thing to Holden. I wanted number 69 and tweeted out that they didn't let me wear it. What the hell? Cold. So I changed it. Yeah, I played up. I gained 800 followers from it.
You should get his jersey.
Are you also related to Nick Holden?
Yeah, Nick Holden. Yeah, is that what you just said?
Yeah, are you related?
We don't know. We think so, but we don't know.
He's a local boy, right?
He is St. Albert boy, and I have his. I might be Sherwood Park, and I have his Colorado Avalanche.
I love how we're listing head coach until I forgot Mark Messier exists.
Who?
I don't know. He's some guy named Moose, and he's really good.
Hey, Connor, it's Mess.
Can you
hear me now? Can you hear me now? Okay, we spent a lot of time joking around. Let's get into the starting goaltenders. Brought to you by Sherwood Power Sports Marine. Hit the trails this winter and the waves next summer. As fellow hockey fans, the team at Sherwood Power Sports Marine, watch your head was, are helping Oilers Nation fans gear up their home of an ATV for just $50 bi-weekly, or cruise the open water for as low as $105 bi-weekly. Sherwood Power Sports Marine are hockey fans, helping hockey fans get ready for their next adventure with motorcycles, quads, e-bikes, and boats. So it's going to be Stuart Skinner versus Jordan Binnington this evening. There's a look at the numbers. Both pretty similar. Both were in contention for Team Canada. Obviously, Binnington makes it. Stu does not. But Stu, 4 out of his last 5 above a .930 save percentage, and you and I have been banging this drum all season. That you just wait till December, you just wait till January, and Stu is going to start to cook. Well, here it is, brother, because we knew the turnaround was coming, right? The past numbers show it. Nobby's confidence in Stuart Skinner clearly showed it. Here we are starting to heat up, going head-to-head with Team Canada's goalie in one, Jordan Binnington. Just quickly, thoughts on Stu lately? Gold star, exactly what we expected.
So I believe it was against the Vegas game where he posted a .938 save percentage, and after that game, that was the fourth time in 5 starts that Skinner had a save percentage of at least .930. Like, this is a guy who can put up good performances. Just, we want to see consistency. Obviously, .930 consistently is kind of hard to do, but just give us like 900 performances, 910 here and there, right? Like, and oddly enough, earlier today I was watching the highlights or the last 2 minutes of that Dallas Stars Game 6 game. I got tears in my eyes. Like, oh my god, that happened.
That was
Stu was dialed in. Like, we tend to forget
he was on his bullshit.
That was an intense game. They were firing pucks from all directions towards him, and he was locked in. So it's like, we know he can play really good hockey. It's just keeping it consistent. And I think we just got to keep faith in our goalie. I know people like to fire goalies into the sun after they have a couple bad games, especially in this market. But Stu, he's our guy, and we got to back him.
Stu's huge, Mr. Burns. I'm thinking solid Stu game for sure. Southpaw says, love the Stu graphic Stanley Cup patch on his shoulder. Just a subtle reminder that my boy has been to Game 7 of the Cup final. And then Maynard made me laugh. Says, for the love of God, just stop the first one, then go from there. That's right. Baby steps, brother. Brick by brick, if you will. Jordan Binnington, he gets the start for the Blues. He's having a good year. He had even better numbers last season, dude. He had a .913 and a .284 goals against last year. So I'm totally fine with Binnington making Team Canada. My question to both of you gentlemen, who starts Game 1 for Team Canada? Is it Adin Hill? Is it Jordan Binnington? Or is it Sam Montembeault? I guess I can throw him in there.
I'll go Binnington. He's won a cup and with the Game 7. I mean, I know Adin Hill did, but I'll go Binnington.
Right now it's Binnington, but Hill's been playing fantastic recently, so it might just be whoever's hottest at the moment. It's not going to be Montembeault. Samuel Montembeault. No, yeah, I think it'll be Binnington for now, whoever's hottest at the time.
I think it is Binnington right now. If you had to guess, in my opinion, I think it would be Adin Hill. Now, that could be because he just had a shutout against the Edmonton Oilers. He's in my nightmares very frequently. I still remember the playoffs a couple years ago. Yes, Brett?
Do they have like a mini camp? Like Team Canada? Will they?
It's a good question.
Because I'm sure they will, like practices and that, but I'm curious if they'll have like a mini camp, so then whoever will go in and be solidified.
That's interesting you bring that up, because I remember, I think it was before the World Cup of Hockey or even the Olympics, like they would gather all the Team Canada players like in August and kind of get together and play. So interesting.
Bob Stoffers in the chat says, Bordzy, I'm meeting Brian Burke this Wednesday for work. I'm going to push the shit out of getting him to contact you guys. No joke. He'd be a fine guest.
Hey, he was on the sheet with Jeff Merrick.
He comes on the Leafs Morning Take all the time when I used to produce that show. Berkey, such a stud, man. He's just such an old man that just don't give no shits about your personal feelings or anything. And I respect the hell out of that.
Every time I wear a tie, I wear it the Brian Burke way at some point. At some point, that tie is going around and the buttons are coming down.
Just constantly look pissed off. It's like an old Seinfeld thing where George Costanza, he says if he just constantly looks angry at work, everyone will keep going, oh, just leave him be. Just let him. And he's just like, fuck. You kidding me? Like, no, you should take some time off.
That's my philosophy.
Smart call. Yeah, it's not working. It's a Saturday and we're working.
Is Brian Burke a top 5 hockey personality? Yeah. Who would you put?
That's a question that we cannot do with 12 minutes left in the show right now. Let's go to the St. Louis lineup, brought to you by Greta Bar. Yeah, Greta, it's where Oilers Nation loves to party, pre or post, weekday or weekend. Going to be there all season long. I believe Greta tonight has a super famous DJ DJing at the bar. They posted a video today and like he was playing like a massive festival. The video was sick. Go check it out. Greta Bar Yeg on Instagram, I do believe. But Greta, it's the place to be.
Jamaican spring rolls.
I never had those.
I gotta try those. I saw on the menu. I still gotta try it. That sounds spicy.
Jamaican me crazy. Let's go now.
Don't get me started.
Let's go now to that aforementioned lineup. So the Blues forward group, Jake Neighbors with Robert Thomas and Pavel Buchnevich. Second line, there he is, Dylan Holloway with Braden Shannon, Jordan Kyrou. Your third line is Brandon Saad with Oscar Sundquist and Zach Bolduc. Fourth line, Alexei Turpchenko with Radek Faksa and Nathan Walker. the Aussie. Good eye, mate. Then your deep pairings, Philip Broberg, top pairing with Colton Parayko. Fuck. Ryan Suter, second pairing with Matthew Kessel. Third pairing, Justin Falk with Scott Perunovich. There's a lot of drama, obviously, in the air tonight because of those two names that we have mentioned. I just think tonight I'm excited. Oilers are looking hot right now. The Blues are looking hot right now. You got two goaltenders that could have been named to Team Canada. This is one that I am very excited for. Brett, can you pull that back up for me? Because Wazinho, you take a look at that lineup. Who's your player to watch tonight? And you can't pick Holloway or Broberg because we're done.
Let's go with Airdrie-born player Jake Neighbors, who got 3 points against the Oilers last season when they visited in St. Louis. He had a goal and 2 assists that night. So I'm going with Jake Neighbors, who's having a really good start to the year with the Blues.
Brett, what about you?
I'm going with the guy on the top pairing, Philip Broberg. I don't know if you've heard of this guy.
Boring, man. Boring.
Do you guys know he's playing for the Oilers?
Yeah,
you guys know he's playing for the Oilers?
Draft pick, early
You know, I
draft
was
pick.
there when he scored his first NHL goal against the San Jose Sharks in April.
Ooh.
Sorry, I had to flex that.
No, but you know what was? I'm actually going to steal one of yours because you haven't mentioned it yet. Zach Bolduc,
Yeah,
I'm
that's
going to
not bad.
watch. He was a guy, him and Zachary LaRue was a guy that I really wanted Edmonton to draft in their draft years. They're just really annoying players. But Waz brought up something interesting that made me question something. His last couple of games, he's only recorded one shot in each game, but last game that they played against, not last game that they played against, but one of the more recent games that they played against the New York Rangers,
Yep.
as was pointed out to me, he had 7 shots on goal. So Bolduc, he's a little bit of a weird, not weird. He's one of those players. He's kind of a pest. He can be. No, that was LaRue who got
I had to
suspended.
get 15 minutes of ice time that game. He had 7 shots.
Intriguing. So I'm very interested to see what Bolduc will be able to do. And he's been able to keep himself in the lineup now. I've really liked him since his minor days. But yeah, no, I'm going with Zach Bolduc.
Let me know in the chat who you would go with. Also, like Losh comes in here and he says Huberg. For me, it's going to go simple here, but it's the top line centerman in one, Robert Thomas. He was a name that could have been mentioned around Team Canada, right? As he can play that chameleon style game. He can play defensive, he can play offensive, and he might not lead the team in points, but it's because he's missed 12 games. Robert Thomas has 15 points in 15 games so far this season, 4 goals and 11 assists. And his history against the Edmonton Oilers, he's a point-per-game player. He's got 17 in 15 career games, 7 goals, 10 assists, 4 power play points on there as well. But that is an area of the Blues that has not been fantastic this season. They rank 28th in the NHL. Brett, can you pull up the team comparisons again for me? Just to have a number and a reference here. Their power play is 28th in the entire NHL. They rank 29th in shots on goal. They're 24th in shooting percentage. So they haven't been scoring as many goals as they would have liked. Obviously, replicated there in the 2.6 goals for per game. Was Blues offense, it's not anything crazy, but when you do look inside that top 6, pull it back up again, Brett. Sorry, I'm making you do a lot of work here, but those are guys that can score. That's a pretty loaded top 6. Buchnevich, stud. Jordan Kyrou, dude, stud.
Yeah.
Neighbors, Holloway. That's a team that they might not be scoring goals in the long term there of the season, but in their last 5 games under Montgomery, they have 18 goals.
Hey, well, you want to know another team that has a lot of goals in the last 5 games? The
Edmonton Oilers.
With 20 goals, actually. Would you look at that?
Fuck it.
Yeah. But yeah, you mentioned Kyrou. He's a player I enjoy watching. There's a reason why I selected him in my fantasy team in the ON League. Pavel Buchnevich is a player the Oilers had interest in. He could have been an Oiler at some point, right? So
yeah, for Broberg and Holloway, apparently.
Nathan Walker, I think he was an Oiler at some point. He had a cup of coffee here and left. And then I like this guy on the fourth line, Alexei Toropchenko. Yeah, there you go.
I crush you.
Oh,
oh yeah, you said what was? Tell the people what was in your Spotify Wrapped.
Oh, I had the Rocky Forest soundtrack. It was so good. Whenever I'm working out, I got it playing, man. The training montage, bro, is Eminem is my top. Like my whole like. It's so weird. I had some of the Lord of the Rings soundtrack.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I will crush you.
He does.
Let's go finally to Bordzy's Bankroll brought to you by Bet365 because Bet365 is a proud partner of Pre-Gaming with Bordzy. Open an account with Bet365 today and bet on a huge range of markets. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Use code NATION Nation, all capitals, to redeem. Okay, time to brag. I went 3 for 3 on Thursday. I bet them all separately, and I parlayed them together. Plus 700. So we are back in the green, and tonight we're going plus, Jason Brett. I know how you feel about that. So first one, Hyman over 3.5 shots on goal. He hit that in his last game, plus 128 on the evening. Zach is just back. It's plain and simple. Connor's going to be feeding him, and I think he's going to be getting, like with Zach Hyman, right? He spent so much time in front of the net. You can get 2 shots in the matter of 2 seconds because he gets to rebound, probably gets stopped again, bangs another one. So we like Hyman's shot prop. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Jeff Skinner's shot prop has hit in the last 3 games consecutively. You want to give me plus 125? I'm going to smash plus 125 from Jeffrey Scotty Skinner. And then your third one, it's Connor. It's 1+ power play point. Obviously, for him to get a regular point or even 2 points is negative money on the odds. I like him on the power play. The Blues have the 20th ranked PK in the NHL. Obviously, Oilers power play had 2 goals in their last game, 1 from PP1. 1 from PP2, to be fair. But I like Connor to get it done with the man advantage. Which of these 3 bets do you like the most? And do you have anything going? And please cover for me because I forgot to place all these bets.
Yeah, I think the easy one here is +1 power play point for 97. I think the power play's been cooking. Zach Hyman's cooking, so I like that one. And for one, I'm going to go the opposite end. I usually don't bet on the other team, but Jordan Kyrou to get 3+ shots on goal so far on the year. He has 78 shots for the St. Louis Blues. He leads the team, so I think that's something I
39 in his last 10 games or something like that.
Run it.
Brett, what about you?
I do I'm a big proprietor behind this Skinner shot prop. I was thinking that as well.
Good word choice there. That was good.
He uses it all the time.
Appreciate it. So yeah, I'm kind of behind that, but I was going to add that to my spider tonight too, but I actually didn't. So.
All right, Brett, spider time. Tell me what you got cooking.
You want me to tell you?
Bet 365. You bet responsibly. You only bet what you're willing to lose. I know Brett, he's just throwing a couple shekels down on this one, but
exactly.
We call it a spider because it's got 8 legs on the parlay. Brett, what do you got tonight?
All right, I got Oil money line naturally. Leon power play points. I think he's going to grab one. Yep. McDavid a goal.
No guns, please.
Bang.
Yeah. What are we doing? This is college football here. It's saying with Oil and blue, but not the way that you think. I'm going Holloway over 1.5 shots.
Spider.
Total
He's like your hype
goals.
man after every one.
Yeah. Over total 4.5 goals. I'll take that one. Nurse, ever since I missed this block shot thing, I've always taken it. So I'm going with the Nursey over 1.5 block shots. Stu, over 23.5 saves. I think they're going to pepper him a little bit, but I think he's and the final one.
What is going on?
And the final one, staying with the old guys, Broby. He's going to get over 0.5 point. So both Holloway and Broberg find the way on the spider.
8 legs, brother. Yeah, I just looked. I placed all my bets. So my 3 parlayed together. You can't same game parlay power play points on Bet365. So you just grab a Connor 1 point, but plus 475 all rolled in together. So let's ride, people. They're just placed right now.
Spider ride.
All right, I love you all. Big shout to you guys for both of you two for joining me. We're going to be live right here after the show for Oilersnation After Dark. I'm sure the vibes will be fantastic, or we will tear each other apart from limb to limb. And finally, Waz, we got some news, some extended sales at nationgear.ca. the Black Friday sale was only 7 days long. We extended it for the weekend. So you can still get 15% off and free shipping over orders above $200. Well, you got the vibes right now.
That's right. That's right. That's why I'm wearing all black.
You can
Nation gear, baby. Let's go.
exclusively shop this nationgear.ca, and it comes with the My City collection. Come on now.
That's
Edmonton Hockey, established 1979, comes in gray, comes in white, and the all blackout City collection as well. And while you're at nationgear.ca, go check out the Ho Ho Hope Will Never Die Pucks Cheer and Holiday Gear. Once again, nationgear.ca. You can get your 15% off on all of these items, and the sale ends, I'm assuming, Sunday at midnight.
Yeah.
Yes.
Eventually ends.
Thank you, Oz. Who knows? Might even extend it after that. No promises. I'm kidding. Then finally as well, you see them right here in front of us, Waz. I think we're going to have a couple of these this evening. Shout out to Odd Company Nation Beer, everyday lager, perfect for game day, perfect for every damn day. You can get these both Odd Company locations in the Edmonton area or liquorconnect.com. Find out where it's selling. Shout out Bo. He pointed out it's in Spruce Grove. I know it's in Sherwood Park. I found one on 50th Street on my way home. Come on now, liquorconnect.com. And as I always say, buy a keg. What are you doing? Just buy it in keg form.
Brewed in YEG.
YEG, Brett, that's good, right? We did everything I think we needed to do. Oh, that's right, of course. Shouts out to our pals. Oodle Noodle. It's Saturday night. You don't want to be cooking. And it's nudes, Miss Baby. Get free nudes for an entire year. Down boy. And many other exciting prizes. You go into, well, I just said shit. You go into all participating Edmonton Oodle Noodle locations. You enter the raffle, and then around Christmas and the New Year, we're doing that raffle, and every single store has a single winner. So I believe 16 people are going to have free nudes for a year. And that is now the end of Pre-Gaming with Bordzy. Love you all. Throw down your courtesy like, please. I appreciate it. It helps pay the bills. And as I mentioned, we'll be here right after the game breaking it down. Hopefully, Broberg, no points. Holloway, no points. And Skinner beats the shit out of Jordan Binnington on the ice. That's my dream scenario tonight. I love you all. We'll talk after the game.